Hey everybody, welcome back. So what we're doing today, we're gonna do some videos on Frankenstang. So last couple of days I got the fuel tank put in, fuel pump, descending unit, all the fuel lines in the back. Today I'm working on, I already got first coat of base put on, I'm working on the bumper reinforcement, because after that I've got to do the H-pipe, tailpipes and all that stuff, and in order to do that I want to put a back bumper on it to make sure I have the tailpipe centered in the right spot. So I'm edging fenders and bumper reinforcement today. So bumper reinforcement, I'm gonna spray up in there real good, get some base on that, maybe put a light coat of clear on it, and then mount it to the back of the car, which is over here. You see I got a nice new fuel tank and all that. I got to put those little brackets on the bumper reinforcement. All that's looking like new money back there. Yeah. Fenders, do the same way I do the quarters. I'm gonna paint the bottoms. The fender edges are going to be a different color because 93 Cobras are a different color. They have an engine color. It's going to be a darker red versus the orangey red. And paint the back sides, and they're ready to go. So, not a lot going on around here. It's been kind of lazy. I've got quite a bit of work done. I was working on the boss a little bit. I got parts for that in, hood, fenders. I've got all that straightened out. It is going to the frame shop on the 25th to get that pinch weld pulled out. The bottom of the fender, I'll walk out and show you real quick. The bottom of the fender doesn't quite touch the mounting spot the way it's supposed to. It needs to come out about an inch. So you can see the bottom down there, and you can see where the rocker is rolled in right here. That's got to come out, and this needs to come down. I think when you roll this, it'll pull that down. If you can see up in there, yeah, you can see the gap from the fender to the rocker itself. But yeah, other than that, body line looked good. Fender wheel fitment's good. All that's good. The hood's sitting right here on Krispy Kreme, and yeah, got a lot of crap going on. So we got a lot of that done. Oh, yeah, turn this off real quick. Sorry about that. Ooh, them damn things are noisy. So, gonna get a little paint done. Show what that looks like when we get it finished, and get it hung on the car. So I'm gonna paint up inside the bumper reinforcement. Then I'm gonna put a little clear in there, and then I'm gonna hang the bumper reinforcement on the car, finish painting it and clear it, so all the bolts are painted and all that stuff. So I'll have to plastic up the back of the car and all that to keep the other stuff that's already painted from getting overspray on it. So that being said, let me get this knocked out. All right, clear coat's on, looks pretty good. Show you real quick what it looks like. I got to get this bumper reinforcement mounted on the car, but I got it cleared up inside and got the bumper brackets put on there. All right, sorry about the sun, a little bright out. So these are the bumper brackets for the 93 Cobra back bumper that everybody's always looking for. I said I got red. I did some clear coat up in there. Got a lot of color up in there. Way more than Ford ever did. Fenders, back sides are done. Looking good. They're green up in there like they're supposed to be. Got a little run over there. Got a little heavy on the clear. Nothing you'll see anyway. This one's the same way. Now, fender edges right through here. I'm going to paint those. I'm going to paint those in D3, the dark red, because as you can see over here, this is the original. See how dark that paint is under there compared to the outside paint. So the 93 Cobras, the red 93 Cobras were a dark red under the hood. They weren't exterior color. And the teal Cobras, I'm going to be doing one of them in the future. They are not metallic under the hood. They're a single stage green, just like the Calypso cars. I don't know why, but that's how they are. Looking at a nice low mileage teal car under the hood. It's single stage. You do get some overspray down the fender edges and some around where the fenders are at on the radiator support. You'll see some metallic on there, overspray, just from when they shut the hood. But the engine bays are single stage, like a light green aqua color. I have a can back that cost me 400 bucks. Ooh, excuse me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the bumper bolted on and finish clearing these, and we'll see what it looks like when it's back on the car. All right, so it's been one long ass day. So I'm going to address a couple things when painting the fenders the way I do, and the way I paint the bottom of the quarters and the rockers. Make sure this compressor's off again. All right, we're good. So there's a little discussions on the old facer books. The way I do it, people always a hard tape line. So what I normally do, and I'll show you, is I don't have any hard tape lines when I'm done. Because a lot of people, they don't tape their doors up, the primer, when they do the jam. So they got paint overspray over half the door, half the quarter. So you got to go back in and wet sand that shit all off. Because if you don't do that, it's going to be higher than the paint you're putting on it. So if it's a dark color car, it's going to have a little wave right there because you've got more materials than what you have just primer. That's why you don't want to do it that way. I know people say, oh, everybody's different. Let's do it this way. Okay, look, I get that. I'm just trying to show you guys the best way to get a nice, straight, slick finish on the side of a car. And when you paint the door jambs, you don't want to scuff the quarter in the door. So if you get overspray on it, then you just go back in and wet sand that, because you're going to have more coverage on the edge of the door, more coverage on the edge of the quarter. You have more buildup, more paint in that spot, and it's going to look wavy if it's a dark car. So what I normally do, you see how I tape my car. I normally tape up the doors completely, and then I paint the jambs. You got the fenders are on there. We got them back, and they're just sitting there. So I paint the jambs. We got all that done. Oh yeah, that's some ass clown bitching about my Humpy Dumpy seam sealer. That's about what they look like factory. Yeah, I could have made a little slicker, but you know what? It is what it is, and if you don't like it, you can kiss my ass. So anyway, if you see here, what I normally do is I'll put some lacquer thinner on a rag after I paint the jambs. Don't let it cure up. Don't let it get hard. Don't let it set up. As soon as you're done, untape the quarters and the doors. It'll be a little sticky. Put some lacquer thinner on a rag. Don't soak it, and just wipe that tape line until it's nice and smooth. So you don't have a tape line here at all. It's just nice and smooth. You can't even feel it. So when I wet sand this, I'll wet sand that, and I'll wet sand the edge of this just a little bit, and then I'll run my foam tape down through here. And the reason I paint this is because I won't even repaint any of this. I'm going to use this right here as a hard line and tape it right there. So I did the fenders the same way. If you see down through here, I got no hard lines at all. I took a lacquer thinner rag and wiped all that off, all the way down through here, so I could just wet sand it. Now, rear bumper looks awesome. Look how nice that looks. Everything's cleaned up, base coat clear. And down here in the bottom, you can get underneath of it, and everything looks nice in the factory, new like it should. New fuel tank and all that. Need to get a little paint on this bolt right here. It's kind of hard to get to. I had it all plastic off. So yeah, that looks really good. Next, probably get a lot of guys in the comments. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. 93 Cobra's the same color under the hood. No, Ford has an underhood paint code for all their 90 model cars. Teal specifically. Red is just the D3 for the other red that they use, or something 8, and I gotta look at paint code. Anyway, it's just the other red color in 93. It's not performance red. And I'll show you under the hood. I've got that done to show you that, yes, it is not the same color. All right, so you can see through here. Now, keep in mind, this right here is 30-year-old single stage. You see how it matches this? I just painted this, so you're gonna get a little bit different. I'll put a little wet on there. Some little spit. Look at it, matches perfect. So, what I normally do is when I tape up the car to paint it, I have the fenders bolted up. I put the fender bolts back in there. I'll go back and blow a little of that red on there, not the performance red, on top of the bolt so there's no scratches. And once I get the bumper and hood and everything lined up, paint your bolts. And what you're going to do, you're going to tape this fender up down through here. You're not going to tape it up through here like some people do. Tape it through here if you want it to look factory. So what that's going to allow that to do, when you shut the hood and you tape it down in there instead of the edge of the fender, it's going to allow some of that original performance red overspray to get down into those top of those bolts, and you'll get some of that performance red down the edge of the fender. And then when you clear it, you clear the car, or when you're done painting the car completely, you can untape the car the next day, go back in and back roll. When I mean back roll, you put some masking tape down the edge of this fender until it extends, and then you back roll it. And then you can go in and you can re-clear the whole top of that fender, overspray and all. So what you'll have there is a factory appearance and a nice, really good, clean look. So, but that's a lot of my tricks, you know, just helping you guys out and showing you what I do as far as taping these cars up and painting them and doing them right, trying to make them look factory OEM. I got a lot of guys, why don't you paint your cars disassembled? One, I'm a one-man show. Two, I like to put my doors on and my fenders on, so when I go to hang them back on, I don't scratch shit, I don't dent nothing, I don't have any of that problem trying to reassemble. Now I know, oh, I don't have that problem. Okay, I'm not perfect. I'm probably that one guy that tries to hang that freshly painted door and I drop the damn thing on the ground. I'm not going to let that happen. So I'd rather hang my doors, paint everything at one time, and be done. If you're doing a metallic car, you definitely want to paint your shit disassembled. And I don't want to hear, oh, I've been perfect, never had a problem. Bullshit. Show me a metallic car that you painted the roof and the quarters, then you did the doors and the fenders separate. Put it together and let me come see it. Please let me come see it. And I'll leave that at that. Oh yeah, I got some more done to the dash. I got the steering column put in, steering wheel, new gauge lens, got the cluster all repainted and cleaned up. Got all that looking, got the carpet kind of clean a little bit. Rockers are done, door jambs are done, all that's done. So what's next? Like I said, I've never tried to start this car. This car sat for almost 30 years. It does have 27,000 and something on it. When I got the motor, it was stuck. I took the plugs out, put a little PB blaster and let it set for a couple of days, and it spun over pretty easy. Didn't have to hit it. I just didn't want to try to spin it over dry. Now, I didn't bar it fast, so I barred it slow. I'm going to put new plugs in it. I've got to put I'm going to put an off-road H-pipe, flow tubes, mufflers, and tailpipes, and then I'm going to see if this thing will start. Really close to that. A lot of stuff been getting me occupied, like the Boss 302 and Krispy Kreme and all that other stuff. So I'm trying to stay focused on Frankenstang right now because I want to get it on the ground. Ooh, my drive shaft came in. Ford Performance aluminum drive shaft. These are a little bit narrower than the older ones. They used to be really fat. Yeah, kind of like me. So yeah, I was waiting on that. So I get the drive shaft put in it. Do the H-pipe, flow tubes, mufflers, get the rear bumper put on it. Set in the tailpipes, make sure they were out and tack everything up. And I'll show you how to build an exhaust on one of these things. I build all my own stuff. When I say build, I weld it all together. I don't make the pipe or bend the pipe. I've got a couple new H-pipes. I think this one, excuse me. I think I've got one nice used BBK off-road for this one I'm gonna put on it. I'll dolly the flanges around for the headers first before I bolt them up. I'll just show you the tricks when I get to it. It's gonna take, I'll probably be an all-day job getting the exhaust in place, tacked up, and then I'll drop it all back down and weld it up solid. It's time consuming, but that's the best way to do it. Let me know what you think so far. Frankenstang's looking like a car. Like I said, the fenders are just sitting there. They're not bolted on. They're just kind of just sitting there. Like I said, they got the bottoms painted, the edges are painted. I do the fronts up here as well, where they bolt in. Like I said, that's a good color match. And look at that side. This is not, keep in mind, it's the original 93 model paint. It is definitely not exterior color. You can see it's a dark red. It's like firewall. And the bottom of the hood, really dark. So that's a little tips on 93 Cobras on stuff that Ford did to them that most people don't talk about. When I get to do my teal car, I'll show you the major difference in that shit. It's like night and day. Yeah. So if you've been watching this video, sorry you can't see me. That's a plus. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm gonna try to stay on I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna try to stay on Project Frankenstang until I get it on the ground, running and driving, and I can move it. Fuel tank, fuel line, filter, everything's done. Wiring's all done. All the grounds are done. I got to put the starter solenoid back in it and hook up those wires and exhaust, and we'll see if it'll run. I'm sure it's going to run. I just don't know how good it's going to run. That's my main concern. But I got several motors. Maybe we put something else in it. I don't know. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you got any questions or comments, you can hit me up at foxjunk73@gmail.com or just ask below, and I'll be glad to answer those questions. Again, this is how I do my jams. If you got a different way, more power to you. I got no overspray to wet sand. I hit it 600. I'm done. I don't have to worry about wet sand and all this paint off that I got on it, and just take a little bit more time with some lacquer thinner, a little more time taping it up, and just way less work, I think. Just my one fat man opinion. If you do it the other way, that's cool. This is my way. Again, thanks again, and just remember, it's not just junk, it's Fox Junk, and y'all have a good day.